A conversation is like working together with someone on an art project. You each are bringing your experience, your thoughts, and your expertise to the project and working together to build something. Now, with this analogy in mind, what might a question be? Well, a question is actually an offering of space. It is me essentially saying to you, hey, I really would like your insight on what you would do with this space that I allot you. A good question is an experience. When you're given the space to act and express yourself creatively, it's actually really a gift, especially if someone's really interested in what you have to say. So, now that we've established that a question is such a wonderful experience that you can give someone, let's go to our first example of what a bad question might actually look like. Well, like I said, you're super excited. We're about to work together collaboratively on this art project. And I approach you and I say, look, I want your insight on something. I need your help deciding what to do with this space. I show you this large picture. And then all of a sudden I say, wait 1 second. Right here. Yeah, I'd like you to help me figure out if I should put a dot in this space or not put a dot in this space. Seems kind of silly, no? Imagine you're having a conversation with someone and what you do is instead of offering them a question where they can express themselves, you take their artist and you cage them. You say to them, I want your perspectives, quote unquote, but do I really want your perspective or do I just want you to tell me yes or no to one of my questions? This is the issue of having extremely specific questions. If you ask someone and you're trying to get to know them, are you A or are you B? Do you like this color, yes or no? It's not really a question and an offer and an experience in the same way. Well, that's common mistake number 1. But let's say I learned from my mistakes and I'm no longer caging your artist, but instead I now say to you, I really want to work together with you on the project. I want to know your thoughts on what we should do with this. No, I didn't forget to bring anything. But what I did in that moment was I gave you such a general question and I gave you no materials to work with that I might as well not have even asked you. This is the exact opposite. It's that as opposed to caging your artist, it's not giving your artist a stage at all. How does this relate back to conversations? This is like when I tell you, what are your thoughts? It's such a broad question. How are you feeling? What's up? These questions are so broad, and we'll actually see how people respond to them next week. But they're so broad that they don't even give the person what to work with. Let's now go to what a good question might be. Again, we want to work together collaboratively. I reach out to you and I say, I really need your insight on something. I've started a little something on my own and I want your help. I was hoping you could help me figure out. This is what I've been working on a little bit, and I was hoping you could help me figure out what I should do with this corner, with this section. Do you have any perspective on that? Pause. What's the difference between the question I just asked you and the previous 2 questions? This time, I've actually given you something to work with. I've expressed a little bit of my own art, and in turn, I've given you the space and the question to express yourself freely as well. This is the definition of a good question. It doesn't cage the artist, nor is it too broad, but it genuinely shows you that I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm giving you the freedom to express yourself as well in a space that I've created. There's actually one more mistake that we're going to learn about today. Imagine we go through the entire thing again. You say to me, I have this space for you to work with. I'm so honored. What a wonderful question. I have to think about it. I think maybe touch on this. I like this aspect. maybe add a little bit of my own spark. And then I say to you in return, I have a question for you. What should we do with this space? Did I just give you the same experience that you gave me? No. You gave me a space to reflect and to think. You know your art piece already. But when I ask that same question back, recognize that it isn't the same thing. When someone asks you a question and you ask that same question back, you have not reciprocated the experience. Granted, you're allowed to hear their thoughts, but you should also be asking questions. You should also be giving people that experience of someone cares about what I have to say, and they've allotted space for me to express myself freely. And let's review the 3 most common mistakes that people make when asking questions in conversation. Firstly, caging the inner artist. That is when you ask a question that is way too specific, that a person doesn't really get the chance to express themselves outside of that yes-no space. You could think to yourself to remember this is my question caging their inner artist, or have I given them space? Mistake number 2. This is not giving the artist a platform. Ask yourself, did my question really give them the space to express anything, or did I just throw out a question for the sake of throwing it out there? Did I really ask them a question that's going to reach them? Mistake number 3 is asking the same question. Have I taken what they've asked me, a genuine, interesting question that allowed me to reflect, and then just mirror it back to them? Or have I come up with my own thoughtful question and space that they can work with? And finally, a good question is when you are expressing almost as much as you are asking for, when you are giving a person the space to express freely, and that person's artist is respected and feel that they can express themselves fully. So let's make sure to keep the art alive, the art of conversation, and keep asking good questions. See you next week.